It is almost 8:15. Welcome back. Republicans are working to overturn former President Biden's caps on overdraft fees. This rule change sparking a lot of controversy over how it could impact American consumers. We have got Chief Business Correspondent Taylor Young with us again. You have been covering the Biden administration's efforts there to enforce these same protections. Now we're seeing a reversal attempt with Trump's administration.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really big deal, and we're already seeing a lot of pushback. And South Carolina Senator Tim Scott and a handful of other Republicans are really kind of leading that push to roll back these caps on those overdraft fees. And they argue that those rules limit consumers on their, quote, choices and protections. Skeptics, on the other hand, say this is really only going to harm consumers. So what exactly are they trying to reverse? So the current Biden era rules limits banks to 3 overdraft fee options. The first is a flat $5 fee. Another is a fee that covers the bank's costs and losses. And the final is a fee of the bank's choosing, as long as they disclose the terms of that overdraft loan. Now, these changes were all part of the former administration's efforts to eliminate junk fees that hit consumers on everyday prices, including banking services. Now, some of these fees could be as high as $35. And the thought process there was, if someone is already overdrafting because they don't have enough funds in their account, an extra fee on top of that would only be more harmful to them. Now, on the other hand, you have the American Bankers Association, who are really in support of reversing this rule. I mean, they accuse the former administration of really overstepping its authority in changing this to begin with.
Okay, so if this rule is drawn back, what's sort of the trickle-down effect to consumers?
Well, I think we have to look at first how much these banks actually profit off of these fees, and they're highly profitable. So if we look back in 2019, I mean, banks raked in nearly $12 billion from these fees. Wow. Now, we have seen that revenue drop over the last couple of years, considering we've started to see more banks kind of get rid of them or reduce them. So back in 2023, which is the latest numbers, it was about $5 billion in revenue, which is still a lot of money and is estimated to cost the average household around $225 every single year. And just think of the demographic that this is really impacting the most. It's the demographic of people who are overdrafting on their account. So if you add up those $25, $35 fees on top of that, that's where you have the argument from the other side saying these are only harmful for consumers.
On the other side, what about the banks that stopped those fees? Do they have to re-engage and start handing them out again?
There has been a lot of banks. I mean, Ally Bank, which has roots right here in Charlotte, was the first bank in the United States to get rid of these overdraft fees. Since then, I mean, we've seen Citibank, Truist, Discover, Bank of America. I mean, the list goes on. So, I mean, this change would essentially allow them to reinstate those fees. Whether or not they'd actually do that, we'd have to wait and see. So this is something that a lot of people, again, there's a lot of backlash. There's also, you have people in support on the American Banking Association. But this is something we're going to be watching closely, considering it impacts consumers, it impacts their bottom line. So yeah, we'll be watching this very closely over the next couple
Everyone's
weeks.
kind of holding their breath on this until we know which way the wind's going to blow.
Absolutely.
So, all right, Taylor, thank you. Appreciate that.